Welcome to our video lesson on adding mixed numbers. For this lesson, there are two methods that I'm going to teach you. The idea is you can choose whichever method you want. They will both give you the correct answer. In some situations, one might be easier, but whichever one you want to do, you're welcome to do. Right now, I need you to write down the steps for both methods. Method 1 is adding separately. I know you've done this one in elementary school. So the steps are to add the whole numbers, find the lowest common denominator, rewrite the fractions using your lowest common denominator, add the fractions, write your mixed number, and simplify. For method 2, it's using improper fractions. So your first step is to convert the mixed numbers into improper fractions. Then the middle parts are the same, these parts. You find the lowest common denominator, rewrite your fractions using your lowest common denominator, add, and then number 5, you convert your sum back into a mixed number, and then you simplify. Okay, make sure you have these steps written down, and then let's start the examples. Example 1, we have a word problem. So the first thing you're going to do with your word problem is cube it. So we're going to circle the numbers in units. We have 8 1/4 hours and 6 1/2 hours. Okay, let's read our question. You spend 8 1/4 hours on Saturday and 6 1/2 hours on Sunday working on a science project. How long did you work on the project? So we've circled our units, our numbers in units. You're going to underline important math words. So how long, and I'd say spend. Box the question B for cube. So we'll box this last question here. And then E is eliminate unimportant information. We don't have any, so we don't need to worry about it. Alright, let's do option 1. Step number 1 in option 1 is to add the whole numbers. So we have 8 1/4 plus 6 1/2. If step number 1 is to add the whole numbers, we're going to add 8 plus 6, and it gives us 14. Then we do step number 2, find the lowest common denominator. Okay, I'm going to do that up here. We have 4 and 2. You might be able to do this in your head, but I'm going to write it out. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and we're going to stop there. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and ding ding ding, we have our match. Step number 3, rewrite your fractions using your LCD. So our LCD is 4. We are just looking at the fractions now, not at the whole numbers. So we have 1/4 and 1/2. 1/4 already has our lowest common denominator of 4. We just need to convert 1/2. So convert 1/2 to a denominator of 4. What times 2 gives 4? 2 times 2 gives 4. Whatever we do to the denominator, we need to do the same thing to the numerator. So we take 1 and multiply it by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Then we're going to rewrite our question. So we have 1/4 plus 2/4. We have 1/4 plus 2/4, and when we find the sum of those two numbers, we have 3/4. Step number 5 is to write it as a mixed number. So we take our whole number, which we found before, which was 14, and we take our sum of a fraction and write them together. So our answer is 14 3/4. But because it's a word problem, you need a word answer. So how long did you work on the project for? I worked on the project for 14 3/4 hours. Okay team, so that was option 1, where we added them separately. Option 2 is to convert them into mixed numbers. I'm going to erase what I've done here so that I have space to write it. You need to write this in your table on the right hand side of your guided note. Alright, our question is still 8 1/4 plus 6 1/2. Step 1 is to convert both fractions into improper fractions. We know how to do that. It's 8 times 4 plus 1 all over 4. And then 6 times 2 times 2 plus 1 all over 2. So we have 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1 is 33/4, plus 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13/2. Then we need to find our lowest common denominator, which we have already done. It is 4. And we need to rewrite our fractions using that. Well, we already have one that's done, so we have 33/4, which is already over 4. The next one we need to do is 13/2. So we have 33 fourths, and let's convert 13 halves so that it has a denominator of 4. We have to think, how do I get from 2 to 4? I'll do it over here. 13 halves, something over 4. 2 times 2 gives 4, so we need to multiply 13 times 2. 13 times 2 is 26. We have 26 fourths. Our next step is to add our fractions, so we have 33 plus 26. 3 plus 6 is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. So we have 59 fourths. Our fifth step is to convert our sum back into a mixed number. I'm going to erase over here so I have some space to do it. So we're going to convert 59 fourths into a mixed number. So we're taking 59 and dividing it by 4. 4 goes into 5 once. 1 times 4 is 4. We're going to subtract them. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down that 9. How many times can 4 go into 19? 4 goes into 19 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. And we have 19 minus 16, and we get a remainder of 3. Now we need to write this as a mixed number. Okay, remember, 4 can go into 59 14 whole times. So that becomes our whole number out front. Our denominator is going to stay exactly the same, so it's 4. And then our numerator is what's left over, is our 3. And our answer is going to be 14 3/4. What we're going to do is, because we have a sentence problem or word problem, we need a word answer. So it's 14 3/4 of an hour.